Hello, everyone. Satsang Astrology here for the Leo full moon, February 16, 2022. So I am here to share my ideas about this full moon in Leo and see if you can get some insights that are useful for you. So the Leo is the sign of the lions, very courageous sign. So we'll see what this full moon has in store for us. If you like my videos, please subscribe and hit the bell so you are notified when I upload a video. And here's my contact information. You can always email me, or I encourage you to comment on the videos and leave me your ideas. I am publishing more frequently on my blog in satsangastrology.blogspot.com. So if you like reading, I do short articles there more often than videos on YouTube. I'm also present in Tumblr, MeWe, Facebook, and Instagram. So now I will share the Leo full moon 2022 chart. So you can, and I will do a full screen so you can see it very, very clearly. And I will start sharing my ideas about this full moon, right? And first of all, I think we need to dive into the meanings or significations of the sun in Aquarius and the moon in Leo. So for the sun in Aquarius is shedding the light on this moon. So it's important to consider what is this sun in Aquarius sharing with the moon, right? The sun is the essence, the core essence of our being. It is our natural authority. So think of the sun as the center of the solar system. It has the authority. It attracts every other planet to its core. So, and at the same time, it gives them energy. So it represents our heart, the power to maintain the whole life together, right? All the other planets are like the satellites of the sun, and they are receiving its light, and they are energized in order to do the sun's job. So this is our natural authority, and the sun will be our heart, the director of our life, the creator of our life, our will and our vitality, the life force, right? So in Aquarius, of course, the zodiac was created in the northern hemisphere. So Aquarius is in the northern hemisphere, the middle of the winter. So it's not like the Leo sun, who is more self-centered, right? But the sun in Aquarius is more sharing the light, right? More friendly, more open-minded, likes independence and freedom. It's more impersonal than the sun in Leo, right? Because it is sharing with others. So it is open-minded, original, as I said, and it's unconventional. It could be radical, but it's inventive. On the negative side, it could be more rebellious, more stubborn in its ways. When speaking, sometimes it has no tact to convey ideas. It could be also had the tendency to alienate itself. And but in general is more concerned with the well-being of everybody than only him or herself. So on the opposite side, which is the full moon, right? It is an opposition. We have the moon. And what is the moon? The moon is our psyche, our gut reactions to life, the way we perceive emotionally, we perceive the world. It is our emotional nature, the warmth, the need for nurturance and for attention, you know. And the moon in Leo is generous. It is more inclined to emotional loyalty, and has this need to be taken into consideration, to be accepted and recognized. And whenever the moon in Leo feels ignored or rejected, is very hurtful for her. And on the negative side, it could go towards emotional selfishness or childish temper tantrums when it's not getting what it wants. So it is like a Leo moon is pay attention to me. I need this, and you should give it to me because I am a Leo moon, right? So, and here we have this opposition, and we have almost 28 degrees, right? It's 27 degrees and 59 minutes. So it is border 28 degrees, which is one of the last degrees of the sign. It makes it very urgent. It makes it very the need to wrap up things here. We have the urgency to finish something, some business there. But always I would like to make this point about the opposition, because a full moon could affect any kind of relationships, right? And is the opposition of two things that could not be reconciled. It could be a struggle, right? It could be an opposition is always, I want this and you want that, and we do not agree. We need to find the midway of doing things. And it could affect relationships, personal and also at the mundane level, relationships between countries, between big companies, etc. So here we have a struggle, not only because of the opposition, but it is even stronger because they are fixed signs. And these fixed signs, they don't want to move a centimeter, you know. They are digging their feet in their positions, and they have a hard time to give in. So it is very hard with this full moon. It would be very hard to come up with a compromise, because both positions will be so entrenched. So it will be a big struggle in any kind of relationships. So and not only that, but as well as we need to consider the square to the nodal axis. And what is the nodal axis? It is the intersection between the orbit of the moon and the orbit of the sun. So it is more significant because the moon and the sun are the protagonists, let's say, and they are squaring the nodal axis. I want to point out that this software only shows the mean nodes, doesn't give me the option to change the true node, which is what I actually use. So I use always the true nodes, and I look at then the ephemeris, and it is the true node is at 27 degrees 23 minutes, which is almost by 20 something minutes shy of the exact square to this full moon. So it is almost exact. And what is very significant of this perfect grand cross is that, first of all, it's in fixed signs. And every time I really use the squares to the nodes because they mark a very significant turning point. And it's a turning point of no return. We are moving from the south node into the north node. As you see, the majority of the planets, in this case only the moon, it's out, are in between the north and the south node, but they are traveling from the south node onto the north node. So meaning that we are leaving behind whatever the Scorpio south node means, which is also purging things. Scorpio sign is the sign of elimination of, if you want, defecation and urination, everything that is excreting things that we don't need anymore, especially because if we hold on to them, they're toxic and they will poison us, right? So we are then the south now, there's also draining, which means that we have a double reinforcing the signification of elimination of things that we don't need anymore, that are toxic for us. So we are leaving behind all those things and moving on to the future. What is the future? What is the North Node in Taurus telling us about? First of all, independence in the area of getting our resources, right? We are leaving behind this sharing resources of Scorpio, sharing with others, and gaining our own resources, looking for what we need on our own in order to survive, and seeking the resources of the earth. So here we have a very significant configuration that is urging us to become independent and resourceful. And also it could be at the mundane level, it could be reflected in the need to find new sources of energy that are not shared with others, those countries or states that depend on others in order to provide energy will be challenged because, as I said, the South Node in Scorpio is draining. In fact, in the Eastern astrology, the nodes are exalted in these signs, the Taurus, the North Node, and Aquarius, the Scorpio in the South Node in Scorpio. So they are very strong in these signs. So we are faced here with a need to, purge and at the same time look for some independence in order to survive. And again, I need to point out to the fixed and cardinal energies that are very high, and the earth and fire energies. So we're talking about here fixed earth, right? For example, fixed earth will be our need to keep material stuff, material resources, and conserve energy. And fixed fire, it will be the need to keep and defend and be stubborn about our ideals, our drive, our impulse and initiative, and also our aim on the future, right? But at the same time, it also requires changes, cardinal. So changes in the material world, changes in our ideals, and the actions that we take, and changes in our passions, right? And changes on the ideals that we need for the future. So it is a mixed bag of meanings, but this is what it brings. So I think I exhausted the sun and the moon, but I will talk also about the sun being in a loose conjunction with Saturn, right? It is loose, but at the same time, Saturn is governing the sign of Aquarius for a long while. We still have more than a year to go with it there. And Saturn's influence is very sobering, very restrictive, cold, contracted. So we can count on the sun to be very tight and very cold, very, let's say, this sun in Aquarius with the influence of Saturn will be constrictive. So it may carry those regulations, those restrictions, social restrictions, right? And is opposing this moon that wants to be itself, that wants to enjoy life, that wants to go out and be joyful and be happy. So there are many levels of meanings, and you should go to your chart in order to understand your personal influence, and look at those 4 signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, and see where those configurations, the nodal axis and the full moon fall, so to understand what the influence will be. It is different for everyone, of course. One significant aspect here is the conjunction between almost exact, just by 1 second, 1 minute, I mean, between the Venus and Mars. And this conjunction is very significant because they're also personal planets. They mean that our desires, right, and our actions, our impulses will be together. So we, with this conjunction, we are able to put in actions and put in activities all our desires, our deepest desires. However, in the sign of Capricorn, we are let's say we are constrained to do this within the structures determined by society, which at the same time are governed by the Saturn in Aquarius. So we yes, we have this power. Let's say the conjunction of Venus and Mars is very powerful. We have this power to realize our desires by doing things related to what we want and obtain what we desire. But at the same time, we have to put it in this context of societal requirements, governmental requirements for our social behavior, because Saturn is very planted, very well planted in Aquarius, determining, right, what is to be what will be proper to do, and the rules that were imposed by governments, authorities, etc. Although challenged by Uranus, but at the same time, the square is fading. It's still in operation, but is now at 6 degrees separation, so it is weaker than before. But take into account that Saturn-Uranus square is active and operative in the whole 2022 and beyond, because they will be very, very close. And because other things that will happen this year is the lunations in Scorpio and Taurus will be eclipses, of course, because of the nodes, and they will be squared by Saturn. As I said, any planet squaring the nodal axis and squaring the eclipses mark a change of direction, right? And Uranus will be empowered by this north node exalted in Taurus, and it will be empowered, especially in one of the eclipses that will happen closely conjunct Uranus and square by Saturn, right? Saturn will put the foot in the wheel, so it will put the stick on the wheel, and it will block some developments. But in fact, Uranus will be more powerful because of the eclipse and because of the North Node. So, but these lunations squared by Saturn will be very, very, very significant. So, and that's the power of the square that will continue because of that. We will talk more about as we go throughout the year. So that is one of the So one of the important things is that we have a novile between the Sun and this Mars-Venus conjunction. And a novile is a 40-degree separation, is almost exact, just for a few minutes. So in this novile, as I mentioned before in my blog, it is a very karmic, and in this case it has the power of the energy of Aquarius, right? Because it is the closing novile to Mars. Venus is the one having this Aquarius energy, but Mars and the sun will be the opening novile for Mars, so that the Sun will carry the Taurian energy. So here we mix both Aquarian and Taurian energy, again repeating the meaning of the nodal axis, right? in the energy of the full moon, the sun in Aquarius. So here we have developments that having this novile in the signs of Capricorn and Aquarius, we have developments that are higher in society, but also developments in governmental and corporation institutions, the big powers of the world, that will actually affect economically and in every way, even authorities, that will affect us all, regardless of our personal charts or our personal influences. Of course, there is a personal meaning according to the house these planets are transiting in your chart, but in general, those changes will be, as I said, changes that nobody could evade. There will everyone will be affected by those changes, sometimes very painful. A novile is an aspect of 40 degrees, and it is an exact division of 9, the circle division for 9 by 9, and it is exact. So it is considered very, very karmic, in the sense that we have no choice, that things happen and affect us, and we have no other way but to accept and adapt and manage however we can. As I said, there are social changes and economic changes with this novile because of the Aquarian and Taurian energy that they carry. We also have Mars trining Uranus very loosely. So it also means that wherever actions are taken could be innovative in the, I think of the, for example, the fact that Mars is with Venus, and Venus rules Taurus, which is where Uranus is. I think innovation is being introduced by governments in the form of the electronic currencies, and that could be a very important turning point for the economy and for everything in the financial markets. And it will be introduced, those changes, innovative changes, will be introduced in a very nice way. You know, it's a trine and positive way, but they could be also the introduction of for example, changes in resources like energy resources, electricity, any other kind of power generation, and also the distribution chain of goods and food. You know, Taurus is food and also energy and goods and anything that we use to sustain life. So there will be changes there that could be very innovative and out of the box, and could be welcomed because of the trine. We have Mercury still within the orb of the conjunction with Pluto that just happened around mid-February, before a few days before the full moon. And Mercury is has been transformed, meaning that our ideas and the way we think and the way we perceive our environment and the world has been transformed, right? Since the beginning of February. So also to consider, Mars is parallel to Pluto. It's like being already in conjunction. It makes it very, very powerful and militaristic. We've heard of rumors of armies, even though I don't think any of that will bring a physical war. Nowadays, wars will be wars of communications. As we see Mercury conjunct Pluto, it could really be that wars are taken to the internet and in the form of cyber attacks and misinformation, disinformation. So be careful if you watch the news on TV or read or watch news videos on YouTube. Be careful, because most of it will be misleading, misinformation, disinformation, and outright lies. So nowadays, I would encourage you not to believe anything that is in the media, because it won't be believable. So also in this chart, we have a quintile between Chiron and Pluto. And this quintile, I think, because of the transformations that are coming up, I think there will be probably, this quintile is very creative. So those new variants of viruses could be, in fact, beneficial for humanity. And because of this quintile, I think the healing will be promoted by Pluto, helping the mutations, the transformations of the structures that are the core of this virus, whatever it is, whatever it means. But Pluto, it is not only transforming the structures of the society, but Pluto can also transform structures in general, any kinds of structures, even the Earth structure. We've seen volcanoes and earthquakes, right, and that transform the surface of the Earth. So it happens. Pluto works at the macro scale and also at the micro scale. So Pluto is also transforming at our cellular level, transforming the constitution and the structure of our cells. And any virus and any kind of substances can be modified by the influence of Pluto in Capricorn, because it goes deeply into the structures of any elements in the Earth. So, and the quintile with Chiron signifies that we are, well, let me see. Yeah, it means that it has the energy of, let's see, 3, 6. Yeah, it has the energy of Gemini, Taurus. So it can mean the healing of, as I said, the structures in nature. So I think those variants and mutations in the virus could be beneficial, as I said. And I think that's all that I wanted to share about this eclipse, this full moon. The eclipse glitch there was because the 2759 was exactly the eclipse, the solar eclipse in August 2017 that crossed America from one end to the other. So this full moon can be reviving whatever was in store for America, for the United States, I mean, of America, because America is a continent. So for the United States of America back in 2017. So I wouldn't be surprised if some themes are coming up again in a different way for the United States. And I will do a separate video regarding the Pluto return. I've done about 6 or 7 already, but now I'm gonna go and update a few pieces of information in another video. So I wish you the best. Let me do this new share. I wish you the best for this full moon, and contact me and ask me questions if you like. I can give you short answers on personal consultations. Otherwise, you can always order your personal reading. And I wish you the best, and have a happy Leo, which should be happy, right? It's Leo after all. So a Leo full moon. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of my videos. Bye now.